Hello everyone, my name is Debbie. In today's video, I will show you how to use Edpuzzle to review prerequisite skills with students. These skills will help support them as they revise their descriptive essays by adding some adjectives. Edpuzzle is a great tool for formative assessments. It is also a great way to review concepts that you have already taught. They have short videos with checks for understanding throughout the video that you can use. So continue to learn a little bit more. Let's get started by taking a look at Edpuzzle. The first thing you will do is make an account. Click sign up, click I'm a teacher, and you can sign in with your G Suite account. The benefit of signing in with your G Suite account is you'll be easily able to import your Google Classroom. So that's what I will be doing. Once you have made your account and imported your classroom as well as added your school, you will see your dashboard here. You can add your own videos here by clicking add content. However, the great thing about Edpuzzle is that there is a lot of other content that you can use, either from YouTube or from the Edpuzzle community. So I'm going to use this option here to support the students. In this lesson, students are revising their descriptive essays by adding details, and specifically they are using adjectives to make their writing more interesting. So prior to the revision process, you might want to review adjectives with your students, and you might also want to do a formative assessment to see how much background knowledge they have about adjectives. This will help you group students, so students that have a strong foundation of adjectives can work independently or in pairs, and students that might need some more support after you have looked at the data can work with you in a small group, or you can use one-on-one conferencing time to work with them. So Edpuzzle is a great way to do a mini lesson as well as gather data about your students. So now I'm going to go into the content area and I'm going to look for add detail. And let's see what I have here. So I have some videos here from the Edpuzzle community, and there are also some from YouTube. I'm going to use the ones from the Edpuzzle community because they will have the questions already embedded for the most part. You can see here it tells you how many questions they have and also the length of each of the videos. I want to keep this to under 3 minutes. It should be a quick review and a quick way for you to gather data. So you might want to do this the day prior to the revision process, or you can do it right beforehand and use the data for grouping in real time. So I'm going to just scroll down, and I can narrow it down by grade levels, but for now I'm just going to take a look and perhaps preview. Sometimes grade levels aren't exactly accurate, so I'm just going to make sure that what I pick is appropriate for my students. So I see this one, which seems to match up perfectly with what I want my students to do, which is using adjectives to add detail. And I'm going to click on that so I can preview it. So now I'm going to play the video and see what it looks like.
The adjectives that you choose.
So there's a song in the beginning. I'm going to skip ahead with some examples of dogs, which is great because in the lesson, we are going to ask students to come up with some adjectives to describe the dog walking. And the first thing you would ask them is, what does the dog look like? So these are great adjectives for that. And then here we have our first question. So on the student's end, it will pop up like this. What do adjectives do? So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, my students are not going to be sure what modify or implicate means, so I'm definitely going to have to adjust that, but I'm just going to click on the answer first, click submit, and students will see right away if they got the answer correct. So this is a great way for students to self-assess. You can click continue. So as we continue on, we will get to the different questions. Which word is not an adjective? I think this could work for my students, especially my students with disabilities, because there are visual supports that go along with each of the adjectives. There's one more question at the end. Look at the picture of the cheese. Choose a sentence that has an adjective that describes the cheese. So I might modify this as well to just have adjectives that could describe the cheese instead of complete sentences. Okay, so I really like this, and the next thing I'm going to do is just edit it. On the left side, we have all of the questions that were in the video, and now I'm going to click on the question, and I'm going to edit this. So just click the pen tool, and we can edit. The question I'm going to leave, what do adjectives do? All right, so I just adjusted the possible answers to change nouns, walk around, and describe verbs. So again, using language that your students are familiar with. So I'm going to click Save Now, and let's say I have adjusted everything. Just going to click Finish, and now I'm going to assign it to my students. So I'm just going to click my class here that I have imported from Google Classroom, and I'm going to click Today for now. I'm just going to leave the due date blank for now, but you can pick a due date. Prevent skipping. That way students can't skip a question, and you can turn on the captions for students. However, in the video, it already has the words, so I'm not going to do that for this particular video, but for other videos, you can definitely do that. I'm going to make sure I post on Google Classroom. I'm going to turn that on, and then I'm going to click Assign. And now this will post directly on my Google Classroom. And on my teacher dashboard, I can see my students' progress. This tells me how much of the video they watched. And then over here, I will see the grade. On the student's end, they will see the assignment and click on it. So this is what it will look like on the student's end. Again, they will just click play, and as they get to the question, it will pop up. So on the student's end, they will have to watch the video. It will not let them skip ahead. So after they have finished watching the entire video and answered all of the questions, the students will see their progress on the right side. There is one question that I will have to grade on my end. So now I can see that this student finished watching the entire video and has answered the questions, and I can click on it, and this will tell me how many correct responses. There is one question that I do have to grade, so I'm going to take a look at the student's sentence. I put smelly cheese in my sandwich, and he or she used the adjective to describe the cheese, so that sentence is correct, so I can give them a point. So I have checked their grade, and I'm going to go back up so I can see the grade that the student received, and I can decide that he or she is ready to move on to the revision part of the lesson. Edpuzzle is a great formative assessment tool, as well as a great way to review any prior skills or knowledge that students might need before beginning a new lesson. Let's review what I went over in this video. I showed you how to set up your Edpuzzle account, and you can easily import your classroom directly from Google Classroom. Edpuzzle is a great way to find videos that have already been created to support students in reviewing different skills and concepts that you have already taught. These videos are short, and they often include questions already built in by the Edpuzzle community. However, you can always modify them, which is great. As you can see in my video, I modified some of the questions so that my students are able to access them. I hope you found this video useful and get some use out of Edpuzzle. Thanks for watching.